There's a lot of nervous drivers in the hot seat right now after seeing that huge impact at the start. And on the restart, you can see all of the dust on the track. What they've done there is all of the leak fluid from the cars. They sprinkle the dust to soak it all up, and it'll be very slippery through turn 1.
In car with Chris Alajajan, second on the road. He'll hand over at the pit stop to Paul Morris. And don't forget, Paul Stokel is running with 40 kilograms of weight ballast. That is a penalty because of his success so far this year.
And if he finishes this race in the lead and wins the weekend, he'll have to put in another 10 kilos for the next round.
Karate in third, then it's Grant Denyer and Jeff Emery. Turn 7 and 8. This is the left-right sequence at 4X Gold, and then it sweeps right all the way around to turn 11.
That's a long, heavy load on the outside tyres on these cars, and I'm sure when you see the cars come into the pit stop later on, that the team will probably reset the tyre pressures because they will get so hot.
Now, talking about the pit stop, the car must be compulsorily stopped for 60 seconds. Doesn't matter how fast you do the driver change, the car must stay stationary for 1 full minute.
And I'll tell you what, when you're in the middle of a race, stopping for 1 full minute seems an eternity.
Good fight here, the young Kiwi Ant Pedersen with Berry Clinton and Matt McKeldin, who's joined in. Now, he's the marketing manager for V8 Ute Racing in the Mini Challenge.
Well, he's a smart man debuting in either of those two categories and picking this one. Can you imagine a V8 Ute Race and debut on a street circuit?
I'm a bit concerned he might end up getting sponsorship for his own racing, let alone for everybody else. But he's hanging onto the tail here of the top 10.
And on the tail of Ant Pedersen, and I'm a big fan of Ant, has great success in Mini Challenge in New Zealand and also in the New Zealand Carrera Cup.
Had a small problem in race 2 with a split intercooler hose on the turbo. This is Chris Atkinson.
I just love the sound of the struggle of the power down. You can hear the inside front wheel spinning up.
And you can hear the tyres, the Dunlop control tyre, scrabbling for grip across the turn.
Been quite frustrated with a few mechanical gremlins in the car throughout the weekend, has Chris, but love the focus. Look at him. Looks no different to when he's in the WRC car.
Well, a little bit different.
Not quite as busy.
This is turn 11, hard under brakes, and the brakes on the Mini Challenge cars are simply phenomenal.
Unbelievable. I remember when I raced at Barbagallo, you can absolutely bomb it in under brakes. Just rush up to the corners and with ABS, smashing it through the gears. Listen to him, no chance of locking up the brake, so you can really rush it in under brakes.
Here's Paul Stokel. He leads the way from Chris Alajajan in second. Nathan Karate will take over from his brother Aaron. And then Grant Denyer, who will give his car to Warren Luff. Very, very experienced in one-make racing.
And actually, they can pit at the completion of this lap on lap 7, which means the pit window has opened. I can't wait to see that action unfold in pit lane.
Jeff Emery doing double duty today with not only his first run in Mini Challenge, but also his regular run in the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series. And he looks to have adapted to this Mini very, very well.
I mean, he's hunting down now the guy that almost won the championship last year if it wasn't for an unfortunate accident. Grant Denyer is a rocket in these cars, and Emery is doing a ripper job.
Using just a little bit of curb on turn 7, but the drivers generally stay away from the apex curb at 8.
That's because when they exit 7, they're almost lining up for 11 because 8, 9 and 10 almost flow as one corner.
And turn 11, one of the really good overtaking opportunities on this course, and it really, as you say, stretches all the way back to the run you get off turn 8.
Well, it's a high-speed approach, and it's big time under brakes, and not only that, you come off that, head into turn 13 where we are now. You see the back of Denyer's car squirming around because it's another huge brake application.
This is the run back onto Boundary Street, which takes us all the way down to turn 2. And it's interesting to know that this part of the circuit is traditionally street track. It feels like Adelaide and Hamilton, but the second half, it feels a lot like Albert Park.
Ripper, you come to northern Queensland and experience two different worlds, Adelaide and the Melbourne Grand Prix.
And you get to wear shorts in July.
Where else does that happen but Queensland?
Paul Fiore sharing with Brendan Cook today. Have a look at this. That's the drive shaft. That's the brake. Watch it glow when he puts his foot on the middle pedal.
Not only the low, but look at the sparks. And this thing gets punished for 20 laps. Look, he's exited the corner, he's gone up 2 gears, and it's still glowing red.
Just a tap on the brakes for turn 5. He's clear of turn 6 as he continues the charge. It's race 3, mini challenge.
It was good fun. We had no power steering, so I couldn't really push flat out, but I think we're keeping up with whoever was in Daniel's car or Luffy's car and trying to catch them. Bit of fun, a bit of carnage at the start there. Someone came across at me and then another dude, I tagged and went in the wall, so we're pretty lucky to get through.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, thanks.
Sure is. Steve Owen is now on board the Uberstar number 50 car, and there he is. We're with Paul Morris, who has taken over from Chris Alajajan. This is for second.
It's going to be on to for second. No, it's not. Paul Morris, you've missed the apex sun by about 300 metres and made it easy for him.
I reckon he just wants to lock back in on the rear of Steve Owen's car and have a race. The Pizza Capers in car, looking back from Owen. There's a huge curve on the exit of turn 3 there, and we found it.
It's not half obvious to Steve Owen that's not his car. He used every millimetre and some, and Morris every bit of the curb and some.
Of course, Steve Owen, last year's Fujitsu champ, not really doing much racing this year. Paul Morris getting his eye back in before having another run at Phillip Island and Bathurst in the V8 Supercar Endurance races. But Steve Owen has got him covered for speed.
To gap Paul Morris by that much in a lap after passing him is impressive. And this is a corner where there's been a lot of two-wheeling action. And Paul Morris, who has been pushing hard, that's massive, massive air. And again, why not? 2 in a row. And let's look at it from behind. Inside rear wheel up, go-kart style. Boom.
That's one way to save on the Dunlops. Grant likes it. This is BJ Cook, the Rock Energy Drinks car, the Sydney side. And this is the car, actually, that Jason Bargwanna raced last year. And it's a little bit straighter than the team car of Scotty Bargwanna.
And while Scotty was running a little nearer to the front in 7th place in a straight car, the team would be happy with that.
This race has actually now been shortened by 2 laps, we're being told by race control. There's Scotty, he's okay. The car needs a bit of work before Sandown, though.
Well, you could say the same about Scotty. Look at him.
I'm leaving that alone. I'm going to give him your phone number.
And wouldn't you be bummed if you were the second driver in this race and you've just jumped in and they've said, race control has just advised the race has been shortened?
Yeah, rule for next time, get in for the first stint. This guy, he's got no problem. He's got no co-driver. He's got no one to deal with because he's leading comfortably, Paul Stokel.
Look at him, he's hitting no curbs. He's leaving it with inches off the ball. He's on a Sunday afternoon cruise. He's delivering the Pizza Capers pizza.
I wish my pizza man drove this fast. I'm still waiting for mine from last week. Stokel, though, he's at turn 7 and no one within cooey of the Deco Rug car.
It's just amazing watching the attitude of a car, the attitudinal difference. When you're out in front, cruising, stroking the laps along, just consistent times, the car just looks in absolute total control.
Now, Paul Stokel is a former Australian Drivers' Champion. He's won in Nations Cup, and you've got to say, he's looking good for Mini Challenge this year.
I even think throw another 10 kilos on him after this event, take him to the maximum of 50 kilos success ballast. It won't hold him back at Sandown. He's the man.
He is the man indeed. He's going to take the race. He's going to take the round. Paul Stokel cleans up in Mini Challenge in Townsville. New track, same winner.
Unbelievable, and that's a massive gap. And Steve Owen, who did an impressive move on Paul Morris, clears out for a comfortable second. And Paul Morris, who has actually greeted the checkered flag, has finished 3rd.
And I think all the panels are straight. Stokel wins by 8 seconds, but the good news is that John Modesta is okay.
A little bit stiff and sore, but no, all right. The Mini took it fairly well, so surprising. I didn't see the barriers until we came back in the pit car, and it surely did move the thing, that's for sure, yeah.
The round win, though, goes to Paul Stokel. 2 race victories, enough to extend his championship lead.
Look, at the beginning, Chris actually got me off the line, like the 40 kilo success ballast. You're dragging off the line, it does slow us down. And come the first corner, he rang wide, and just after he rang wide, I got in front, and then the safety car came out, so I sort of fell into first place then. And from the restart, I just put my head down and thought I'd do the best job we could. We had 2 new tyres in the front, and yeah, managed to put a little gap on him. And then after pit stop, it was just look behind me and went, where'd everybody go? So no, it was awesome, mate. It was fantastic fun. Like, having a pit stop was really good and interesting, but in the end, I would take it any way I can get it.
Well, that wraps up another thrilling round of mini challenge action from the new Townsville Street Circuit. The series now heads south to Melbourne's Sandown Raceway for the halfway point in the championship.